different branches of adaptive immune systems to be able to tell the maturation and development of B cells. I listed it for you, seriously, that they produced and mature in the bone marrow. Now, understand the idea of clonal selection. When B cell recognizes the antigen, okay, and only the clone with a specific type of the receptor that can recognize the antigen is selected, proliferates, differentiates into plasma cells. Okay? Plasma cells produce antibodies. And there are how many types of antibodies? Come on. 5, right? So know those types, know what they do. I'm going to clarify. IgA, breast milk. IgG, transplacental. If I, by any chance, will decide to play Morgan and will not give you, if I will do some kind of a mistake on the exam and I will play Morgan, you now have a proof, like a video proof, that's going to be on the YouTube. So you can call me to answer. I'm not going to do that. Primary and secondary response. So primary response is the initial response to the infection. It starts with IgM, then IgG, which talks about it. In the secondary response, what's so interesting about secondary response? What happens to the antibody levels during the secondary response?
They come a lot faster.
Right. So the secondary response is more robust. The levels are higher, right? And the amount of antibodies is much higher. Absolutely do this. I can promise 1 or 2 questions on active, natural, passive artificial, and stuff like that. You will have to, I'm going to give you like a case, okay? And you will pick a kind of response, or I'll ask you a best example of active artificial response is boom, 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 boom. Okay, and you select which one. Cellular. Types 1 and 2 role in the antigen presentation, okay? Whether they presented on all nucleated cells or only on the, what you might call it, APCs, okay? APCs or all cells, okay? Function of Cd4 Cd8 cells. Understand the difference. Understand that Cd4 cells technically do not interact with the infected cells or cancerous cells. They help other cells to become better. Macrophages, Cd8 cells, B cells, right? That make sense? So Cd4 cells can recognize MHC type 2 on macrophages and B cells. Okay. Cd8 cells, do they phagocytose? Do Cd8 cells phagocytose? No. Cd8 cells, how do they kill? Apoptosis, right? Cytotoxicity. Yes, cytotoxic lymphocytes. So there are your mechanisms of action. Okay. Similarity with NK cells. So essentially, you can say that NK cells, natural killer lymphocytes, are fairly nonspecific. We talked about them right here, the natural killers, the immune cells, okay? NK, macrophages, granulocytes, okay? So essentially, these guys, the CD8s, like NK cells, but they can target very, very specific cell. Regulatory T cells, no, they role to dampen the immune response, okay? Lower immune response. 4 types of transplant. What do you know? Auto, iso, allo, iso, and xeno. Okay? Know the examples for each. Understand the mechanisms of rejection when the immune system of the recipient attacks the graft, and GVHD, graft versus host disease, when the immune system of the graft attacks the recipient. Huh? Allo, different people. Iso, identical twins. Xeno, different species. And auto, from yourself. Post-transplant treatments, come on, know that it's immunosuppression. Pretty much it. Immunodeficiencies, understand the difference between congenital and acquired. Okay? So those are congenital. I should have, okay, those are acquired. Does that make sense? So congenital you're born with. Acquired, cancer is acquired immunodeficiency. Usually you're not born with cancer, okay? People develop it later. Autoimmune diseases, understand the concept of self-reactivity. Okay, sorry, it's why. Hypersensitivities, those types. So acute and immediate, it's types 1 and 2. So allergy, type 1, and transfusion reaction, type 2. Subacute, it's a type 3, the immune complex formation. Remember, immune complexes are being lodged in the basement membrane of epithelial tissues. Okay? Example would be lupus, rheumatoid arthritis. And delayed is type 4. Examples would be poison ivy TB test. Just for kicks, I'm going to ask you right now. The mosquito bite. What type of hypersensitivity is that? Acute. It's allergy. It's type 1. But then what you get afterwards? Eventually, bump. You get a bump, so it's type 4. It's type 1 and type 4. You produce IgE that cause local inflammation, vasodilation, and eventually you have Th1 response, the T cells, that stimulate that actually creates that little bump. Okay? That makes sense? Any questions on this review? No? We good? I can hit pause.